try my best to come down to their level to be able to communicate with them and help me working. And one beautiful thing that God for me that I was angry about as a child, only to find out I was blessed to lose my height. Yeah. So I went to camp some years ago. I was volunteering for a camp, a children's camp. And we got there, I carried my dogs. They said, please take your dogs, we want to search it. And then so I carried my dogs and gave them, they were searching. It was my colleague that I don't think they they are doing their jobs. Why? Because I even look younger than some of the teenagers that came for camp. So I told them, don't worry, I understand. And the Bible said, sorry, I'm going to quote that, low. Complete it. So I remember as a child, I always like to ask questions. Why is this happening? Who is this person? Why are we going there? Where did this impact? I was a very, very, very curious child. I love to know everything. They'll say in this state, and then they will say that they go. I hope I pronounced it correct. Yeah. You know, Natasha, you want to hear everything, you want to know everything that is going on. That was who I was as a child until I started hearing, talk too much. If you talk, you are talking too much. You're asking too many questions. Why do you like asking questions? And that moment, my life changed. Because it showed me the wrong way. I felt it was wrong to ask questions. I felt it was wrong to want to know more. I felt it was wrong or disrespectful or whatever it is they thought about when they were shutting me down at that time. There's one thing we need to understand. We are all born curious. Yeah. So the fact that he said we came here curious, we are living here curious, you are still going to somewhere else today that you remain curious. So, and you are able to, I really appreciate those of you who are here out of curiosity because you are still alive. There are so many children who at a little age, parents, teachers, mentors, people around them, they all try to trample on their curiosity, and it's a big problem right now. As human beings, we are wired to explore things. But this exploration you are trying to explore, that spark that comes up, whether that spark is going to be something good for you tomorrow, or it's going to be something bad for you, it depends on something we don't take seriously. And what does that mean? Upbringing. Upbringing. And upbringing is not just parenting. So don't think that I didn't come here to talk to parents. Yes, if you're a parent, oh, wonderful. But as far as you are sitting down here, you are going to interact with the next generation. So, I am doing a Chinedu-Nwigwe very quickly with trauma anyway. And then you realize it's not good handling. As we grow up as children, our environment tells us who we are. If you are Christian today, or you are Muslim, or Buddhist, or whatever it is, you came from a home, and you grew up to become a Christian, because your parents are Christians. Not because the day you were born, you knew that it was okay to be a Christian or a Muslim. So your environment molded you to become who you are, or who you were at one point in your life. Let me put it that way. Because at some point you need to grow out of that. Oh, my parents did this to me. Oh, my friends did this to me. When it comes to life, if a child grows up hearing you are very smart, all because he scored an A. So the day that means you're telling that child that the day you score a B or a C, you're not smart. You start creating a child who will try to avoid anything, any risk, so they don't fail. I tell young people, failures are of success. You can't You can't tell me you are successful without having failed. Oh, trust me, I have failed. I have failed in endeavors. And in my journey of failure and rising, I had people who were there for me. So they lost my side, eh? Listen, okay, I said that. I said that. I said that. No, go back. Let's take to the the other one. Lifelong learners are not born. You raise lifelong learners by the environment you create for them, by the things you say into their lives. So if you are working, wherever you are working, whether you're working with young people, with old people, you have to have that mindset of creating the right environment. I don't want to go so deep into the technical language of psychology or no, there's no need for that. It's fine. Let us find the full and the move forward. Alright? Self-loving environment is equals boldness. And every word, reaction, and an example matters in this case. So I teach children who grew up with traumatic situations, chaos and racism, shut down by people who are supposed to protect them, who are supposed to teach them what to do. And this criticism shut down their minds to just live, just to survive, not to. I had a session with some time ago. I was talking to them about trauma. You as a teacher, whether you are a speaker or whenever you're working, you have to understand that whoever you are dealing with might have gone through trauma. And that trauma determines how you take in the Lord and the next person takes to you, whether we want to accept it or not. There are some things that you hear, it is true, you know it's true, but because of that trauma you are dealing with, you are refusing to accept that it's true. So you are refusing to learn that thing. When he said you can learn, in fact, first time he brought up that Bible in 15, I don't like it to learn I said, I don't have the time. Luckily for me, I just saw another prompt now. Please. In fact, I think I can do this Bible. It's very important for us. Okay. So I also think this is very little materially. They didn't grow up. I don't know about you. I didn't grow up in well. I didn't grow up as my father was not a very big man like that. We were just managing, we were just working. You know. But children were raised by mentors, caregivers, parents who modeled learning as a leader. I want us to understand today that learning has to be your lifestyle for you to be able to grow. Learning has to be a lifestyle for you to move forward. I'm still learning. Today they call it learning things like that. I still have to check myself. But this is as a result of learning, as a result of people who mentored me. Funny enough, my brother doesn't know what is my mentor. He does not know that. Yeah, I'm not joking about it. Please. I remember in 2020 when you told me, you can do this now. Just go and do course. Take where they do and I don't get to it. Just go and do courses. Just go and like that. Let me just because I was still dealing with the things. Yeah. Those traumatic situations. Those you can't be more than this. Yeah. Grow up, just marry, have children, and move. Your children are very focused on them. But when he pushed me, today I'm on this fast. Yeah. The greatness doesn't begin with books. I know you like us to read books in 10 seconds. Rapid learning is it. But it doesn't begin with books. It begins with a belief. I am safe. Very small. Yeah. I am free to grow. I am allowed to become. These are the beliefs that you need to have with you to be able to learn. And this belief is planted in childhood. Unfortunately, we are no longer children here. But if you look back at your life, you realize that certain things you would have achieved, you couldn't achieve before today. But after today, you go back to your inner child. Go back, have conversation with your inner child, and please grow. I told someone, in fact, I'm planning it. I'm still looking for the place you have. I want to go to a place where we'll have bouncy castle. And I will jump on bouncy castle. I'm telling you what, I'm not joking. And I will play in the water. I did it 2 or 3 years ago. I posted it on my status and something was crazy. Why? I need to get in touch with my inner child. That child that they shut down, I need to tell her, you are still, you are doing something, you are learning, you are empowering the next generation. And that's why even my own little daughter, I see myself in that girl. And I don't allow anybody to shut her down. Because I know she's going to go somewhere. For me, the road wasn't easy. The road wasn't easy for me. It wasn't straight. There were voices that tried to shape me. There were experiences that would have made me stop going to school or anything. I had experiences. I had traumatic experiences. I had abuse. As a 7-year-old girl in primary school, your teacher is only abusing you. You don't have anybody to talk to. If you go and tell mommy, you don't even understand the name by abuse. Yeah. Somehow before I came here, one of my colleagues put on her status about may God forgive the man that tried to rape her when she was 9 years old and rest in peace. I told her she will not rest in peace. I'm not angry, but he will not rest in peace. He will rest in peace. I'm 9 years old. And I also told her, I think mine was 7. My class teacher at the time, an old man. So there were experiences that would have made me shut down. Let me just try. Let me try. And one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing today is because I didn't have mentors. I didn't have anybody to push me. I learned to the point of just few years ago, I was learning on my own. I was reading on my own. I was experiencing on my own. I was doing things. I was failing at what I was doing over and over and over again. But I knew I had something in me. Someone has leads the way, like him. And then my grandma, she's always praying. She never sleeps. Of course, I've mentioned my siblings, mentors, books, courses. That mindset is there. And today, I'm a mentor of youth. I'm still eager to learn. I'm still going to do courses. I'm still going to go back to school. I'm still going to read. Because I see that when I read, I see my children wanting to read. There was a time, if you visit me at some hours of the day, nobody will attend to you. Because one person is carrying book here like the other person is carrying another person. And somehow my second son has picked it up and that's it. It's not a culture for him. So today as a mental health counselor and youth mentor, I see very clear. A child who is loved, a child who is listened to, a child who is led well will often become an adult who learns with passion, who adapts with grace, and lives together. There's this quote I love when I'm talking about children. A child who is loved at home comes to school to learn, but a child who isn't comes to school to be loved. No child who is going through trauma is about to learn anything from you as a teacher if you are a teacher here. That is the root of greatness. Okay, good. So, for lifelong love is equal to resilience. And everything I've talked about today, the soil for which these things will grow is love. You cannot learn without love, without people loving you, without loving yourself. Set your course, creating an environment, a safe environment for people to learn. Like we are here now. If you had put this thing in a place I'm sure it's not safe, I won't be open to learn. I may come because I have to be there, but I won't be open to learn. So that's what this is. Then upbringing forms deep roots. Let's go to the next one. I think that's my final slide. Good. So our aim with an African program is saying when the roots are deep, there's no reason to fear the wind. There's no reason to fear the wind. So I want to encourage us today to raise learners who you will love so much that they are in love with themselves. So you raise them in love, help their curiosity, and help them in their lifelong learning journey.